Hello, it's Sarah from Hardcover Hearts, and I'm here today with a catch and release video. I haven't done one of these in a while. This is where I talk about the books that I bought, hence caught, and then the books that I'm releasing, meaning that I'm selling back or donating. There's a plethora of used bookstores in my area. I'm incredibly lucky, and so I can sell them back for credit, or I can donate to the prison project, which I believe in very strongly. So it ends up being a good opportunity to have a cycle where I can bring books in and trade them out. So let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to be releasing is the Topeka School. This should be no surprise if you've watched my videos. I did a full series with Waugh, a bookish islander, and we called it In Deep Conversation about this book. Now, despite the fact that I have what appears to be a million tabs, I'm going to be removing these and donating this. Next up, I'm going to be donating this only not because I don't like it, but I have an audio and an ebook that I'm using, and I don't have the space. And so this is Elizabeth Gaskell's Wives and Daughters. This is a really lovely Penguin Library edition, but the font is really small, and it's easier with ebooks to be able to bump up that font. Another classic that I'm loath to get rid of, but it just gives me an opportunity to search for the Folio Society edition of this that I really would like, and that is Anthony Trollope's The Way We Live Now. I loved this book during Victober, and this is a modern library classics, and I just think it's a really great edition, so hoping to trade that in. And then a disappointment for me was from December was A Christmas Party by Georgette Hare. I talked about this in a week of reading video, where it just didn't work for me. It was a little too slow and predictable. But so those are the ones that I'm releasing. Let me show you what I've caught. Okay, so first, I think I was watching Eric Carl Anderson's video of his most anticipated books, and I was also looking at the Guardian's list, and so I kind of did a pairing to kind of figure out which books did I want to get from the UK. So I put a big depository order together. So the first is Paul Takes the Form of a Mortal Girl by Andrea Lawlor. So I hear this is a little saucy. We shall see. This was on, I think, the Costa Prize shortlist, one of the lists, and is Shadowplay by Joseph O'Connor. Looks fantastic. This is historical fiction, 1878, the Lyceum Theatre in London, and it has Bram Stoker is the theater manager, leading lady Ellen Terry, and Henry Irving is the chief. He's kind of like the leading man and impresario. And so Bram Stoker is a character in this, and I really find those fun when that happens. And it was shortlisted for, I think, the Costa. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Then I've heard really great things about this book. This is Sinead Gleeson's Constellations, Reflections from Life. I think I heard this in relation to Annie Ernaux's The Years, and I thought that was a fantastic prompt to make me want to grab this, and the cover just looks gorgeous. Not sure if you can see that. Let's see. Then I am continuing my John Berger interest. So I read last year Ways of Seeing by John Berger. This is kind of taken off the BBC series that he had. I wanted to read his Understanding a Photograph. So it's kind of a continuation of that. So interested in what he said in that one. So that was on sale. This is something that Sean, the book maniac, was reading, and was interested in it already. I saw it. It was heavily discounted. It looked really good. This was pretty much a buy just from the cover. This is Norman Collins' London Belongs to Me. Hopefully you could see that. And you know, I just have such a thing for these modern classic editions. So I was really, really happy when Sean was saying that he was really enjoying this and it was really funny. So looking forward to that. Then I have 2 books in my Mitford collection that I'm excited to continue. This one is Deborah Devonshire, who is the youngest of memoirs of the youngest Mitford sister, and this is Wait for Me. So this is her memoir. And then I just had to do it. I was tired of waiting for this. This is the letters of Nancy Mitford and Evelyn Waugh. So look at how cool that looks. So this should be, I hear this is just saucy and a little witty repartee kind of back and forth between the 2 of them. Then I went to my favorite used bookstore in San Francisco yesterday. Took myself out on a date by myself and went looking at the Friends of the Library. And this place is just so fantastic because it's literally in Fort Mason, and you can see the Golden Gate Bridge right there. It's right almost at the base of it practically. And one of my favorite restaurants, Green's, which is a very famous vegetarian restaurant, is there. So I did some shopping and took myself on a solo lunch to Green's. So the first thing that I found, I was so excited because I was going to put this on my next book depository order whenever I get that done. Because I've seen people talk about this, and I'm doing Read German Books 2020. This is The Artificial Silk Girl, and this is by Ingard Keun. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Keun? And so this is really fun. I've already started it. It's this really obnoxious debutante, and it's kind of her traipsing around Berlin right before war breaks out. And so we are aware of what's about to happen. She is completely unaware. And that creates a little bit of tension for the reader as you're reading this, but I'm really enjoying it and flying through it. So thank you for the recommendation, Mel and Britta. Then I found 2 Pristine. Neither of these have been opened. These are Magda Szabo, Caitlin Street, and Isa's Ballad. I think I've made mention before that The Door is one of my favorite books. And I was really interested in her voice and what she put together. And when I heard that these are also equally good, I grabbed them when I saw them. Literally, the spines haven't even been cracked. So you can't go wrong there. I found a John Berger, one of his fiction books. And so I thought I would give it a try. This is Once in Europa. And he writes so well about these types of things, about art criticism. I'm interested to see how he writes fiction. Then this is an arc for Out of Darkness, Shining Light, Petina, Gappah. This is a fictionalized story of bringing Livingston's body back from the Congo. Sounds fantastic, and I think it was winning a bunch of awards. The back has Jesmyn Ward and Ya Jassy blurbing it, so excited by that. And would you believe it? I didn't have this book, but it was in my favorite books of 2019, and I found it. This is Look at How Happy I'm Making You by Polly Rosenzweig. I really loved this book. I didn't own a copy, and now I do, and it's hardcover, so whoop whoop. Then I found this manga that I've been interested in, but I've never seen it. I think I saw it briefly when I was in Japantown, but this is a used copy, so got it cheaper. and this is my Lesbian Experience with Loneliness. I was so interested in this, I just dove right in the moment I got home. And I will say, I mean, there were many really great things. I think the art was very thoughtful, very profound, both cute and also very sad. Like, you could tell when she's anxious and going through tension and stress because of the tension in the drawings. But I think this made me a little heightened with anxiety because there's a lot of mental illness issues discussed here, which I think is incredibly important and very positive to have own voices for mental health. But it felt a little bit like a spiral, which heightened my anxiety. Glad I read it, but this is actually something that I think I'm going to be selling back. So that was fast, huh? And then the last thing is I found some travel books. And so, as I think I've made mention, trying to plan my summer trip now. So we have a week before I go to Oxford that we want to spend. And we've decided that this year we are going to go to Scotland, specifically to Edinburgh. So we might go some other places. We might get a car. I don't know yet. It just all depends. But I'm very happy to have some travel guides to start thinking, because to me, part of the joy of a trip is also the lead into and the planning and the daydreaming and the seeking out of what could we see and starting to imagine that. So I'm very excited. So that's it. That's my most recent purchases. Let me know if you've read any of these new ones that I purchased and what your thoughts are, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.